Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to join us today. My name is John Bay, as David alluded to. I'm the CEO and chairman of Standard Uranium. We are, one of 22 uranium junior companies presenting at the Red Cloud Conference. So I guess all of you here are here because you want to hear about uranium. And we are one of the Canadian companies. So we've seen companies from Africa, from the US, and Canada. And of course, in Canada, the majority of our projects are in the Athabasca Basin. Besides myself, we have Sean Hilliker, who is our President and VP of Exploration, sitting in the corner over there. As we finish this presentation, there's plenty of time to get into technical details should any of you want to hear more about our projects. Today's going to be more of a higher level presentation, so I'm going to make some forward-looking statements. So we've all seen a million of these. So here is our snapshot of the Athabasca Basin, which is in Saskatchewan, northern part of Canada. This Athabasca Basin map here shows our 7, which is actually 8 projects now, scattered around the basin. Our flagship project is our Davidson River. So we built this company back in 2017 around the Davidson River project, and we'll get into that one, telling you why we find that one the most exciting. It is a remarkable project yet to make a major discovery, and we'll walk you through why we think we're close there. Around the basin, you can see Sundog, which is up in the far north, which is near the town of Uranium City. It's actually Canada's very first uranium district, where they were doing several different sort of lower grade Beaver Lodge style deposits up there, and that is also becoming a very hot district in the Athabasca Basin. On the eastern side, we have 3 projects, Atlantic, Canary, and Ascent, and I'll walk you through those. And of course, our recently staked projects are Corvo and Rocus. So why Standard Uranium? So one of the 5 things that sort of are key to us in building this company is, look, we wanted to be in a hot market for uranium for investors to have success. And right now, I think uranium is probably the hottest sector out there, and it looks to be strong for many, many years to come. The demand for nuclear is just remarkable and getting stronger and stronger. Our team that we've built, I'll get into that on one of our slides. We've got a great group of exploration geologists, as well as capital markets, legal, and just capital markets with, exploration geologists specialists in this region of the Athabasca Basin. Our projects, we're going to walk through those, and of course the location in Saskatchewan, probably the greatest place in the world to find uranium. So in the last few months, we have actually transitioned to a hybrid model of not only uranium exploration, but also project generator. We've been getting a lot of interest as the uranium market has heated up from companies around the world, including Canada and primarily Australia, who see the projects portfolio we've put together. And not only that, all our projects are turnkey operations. So one of the things that's really exciting when companies approach us is the fact that we will actually operate the project from start to finish. We have got First Nations agreements on all of our projects that are drill ready, except for our two newest ones. They are drill permitted, they have First Nations agreements, they've got all the vendors lined up, and an operation team that can run the project for them. For companies, especially ones coming out of Australia, that can reach out to us and have us run everything. It's a very exciting opportunity for them. This map, this chart here shows you what we've got lined up for 24. It will be our most exciting year yet to date. We are planning to do work on every one of those projects. We anticipate doing drill programs potentially on 3 or 4 of these projects. We're in the process right now of having serious conversations with about 4 or 5 different companies. We've signed a deal on our Sundog project. We announced that last month. That's going to keep the Sundog project funded to be drilled for the next 3 years. All of these deals are a combination of cash and shares and operator fee to run them. And of course, work programs. So Sundog is going to have, for year 1, a 1.5 million to 2 million work program, and after that it goes up to 2.5 to 3 million. That's all drilling in the ground in that specific region. The rest of our projects, ones that are drill ready, we anticipate doing very similar deals. The Atlantic, Ascent, and Canary, the 3 eastern projects, those all will have a minimum of $1 million spent in the ground and drilling, up to 2 million. And their Davidson River, our flagship project, that one we have. It's a very special one because that's our flagship. We love that one. We're not going to do that one completely. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide that Davidson River project in half. We're going to JV out half of it and still keep 25% of it, and the other half we're going to keep for ourselves. It's a massive project, and I'll walk you through why that one is so exciting. So this is once again the Athabasca Basin, showing our projects and all the other discoveries around the Athabasca Basin. What's really important about the Athabasca Basin is, look, it's in a great region of the world. The Saskatchewan government, the First Nations, everyone is really supportive of moving projects forward. We see now there's lots of labor, there's lots of vendors, there's lots of people, great geologists, and it's just a wonderful place to operate. So a snapshot of the company. Look, we're a project generator now. We have funding coming in to move a lot of our projects forward. The ones that we want to move forward, we're going to raise capital to do as well. Davidson River is our flagship, and I'll walk you through that one. Our team of technical people, when we get to that slide, I'll walk you through who they are. And of course, nuclear. Nuclear is back. Nuclear is back, uranium is back. We're seeing a huge demand for not only the industry itself, but uranium exploration, which is why there's 22 companies here this week speaking. Short-term catalysts, we're going to be exploring. As we go into 2024, we anticipate we could have up to $10 million in exploration in the ground this year. That's a remarkable amount, figuring our market cap is less than that right now. But we're bringing in JV partners that are going to fund the majority of that, and then we're going to do some of our own funding as well. So why now? Why Standard Uranium? We are at that point now, we're pre-discovery. So when you have those big home runs with companies, it's pre-discovery. One of our peer companies that was presenting yesterday was F3. If you looked at F3 this same week last year, they were sitting basically where we are right now. Same share price at around 5 cents, and they hadn't made that discovery hole. What happened? A few weeks later, boom, one discovery hole in a project very close to our Davidson River, and boom, they're up they're up around 40 cents, and they went and raised a lot of money with the help of Red Cloud, and they've been drilling away and continuing to build on that project. So being at the the pre-discovery phase is a great time for investors to learn about the company and get invested. So our team. So I started this company back in 2017. I have a capital markets background. Immediately I brought on a guy named Neil McCallum, who is a geologist, specifically well known for his uranium and lithium experience. He's one of the leaders of the DeRouge group out of Edmonton. Neil's been a director and technical advisor to Standard from the start. In 2020, we brought on Sean Hilliker as a geologist. He soon moved up to become our VP of Exploration, has recently been appointed our new president. Sean came to us from NextGen, which is very important. Sean did 5 years at NextGen doing his master's degree on the Arrow deposit. Now, the Arrow deposit is 25 kilometers away from us, the same rocks we're looking at right now on our Davidson River project. So great to have Sean on board. Sean McGraw is our CFO. Very capable CFO, has been in the capital markets for 20 plus years. Mike Young, many of you who know the uranium space probably have heard of Mike Young. He was the CEO, founder of Vimy Resources in Australia, which he ran for 8 years and had an exit about a year and a half ago and is now working in the coal industry. Kind of ironic, but Zoya Shashkova, she is one of our directors. She came from Uranium One, where she was a CFO in Kazakhstan. Great to have her on board. And Blair and Ken are both capital markets, banking, lawyers who are specialists in M&A. So part of the M&A strategy was great to have those guys on board and to help with corporate governance. So the Clearwater domain theory. This is a theory we've been touting from the start of our company. Our theory was, look, and you can see on that map those yellow dots. That's where previous discoveries and high-grade discoveries have been made. Up until F3 made their JR zone discovery last year, all the discoveries were on the eastern side of that intrusion called the Clearwater domain. So you can see the Triple R from Fission, the Arrow from NextGen, and of course Spitfire from PurePoint. Those were all on the same conductor, the Patterson Lake conductor. So the theory was the intrusion from Clearwater came up and it brought with it heat and fluid and uranium, and that was deposited on the eastern side. Our theory was that same uranium could have been deposited on the western side of the Clearwater domain. So we started doing exploration. We did initially we had to see what was going on, so we did geophysics, VTEM and ZTEM. We proved out there were 26 major conductors running through our project. It's got over 70 kilometers of conductor strike. We identified 4 major ones, and we got to work on those right away. The process of doing the geophysics really helped us identify those conductors, and if you're going to find uranium, it's going to be hidden. It's going to be sitting in those conductors. So a closer look at this map here. You can see the discoveries that have been made and the amount of uranium in those discoveries in the bottom right there. What I want to draw your attention to is the JR zone, F3's JR zone. It's just to the north of our project, sits in that same formation, and that is a great analogy to what we're looking for. Just outside of the basin we are, and it's the same rock formations which we're proving out in our drill core. So we started drilling Davidson River in 2020. We've done 5 drill programs, multiple drill holes across all of our conductors, and we've divided the project now into the east and the west. This is a look at some of the core that we're pulling out of the Davidson River project. So that picture in the top left there, you can see the coloration in it. It's got nice beautiful coloration through there. When our geologists pulled that piece of core out, they thought they had made the major discovery hole. It looks identical to some high-grade core they had seen over at NextGen. So really exciting stuff. What you're seeing there is a graphitic, broken up rocks there. All of the corridors have got this, so we've proven out that the graphitic rocks are there, and there's been fluid movement through there with great alteration in structure. So that's the kind of stuff that you want to see. And one of the things that Ray Astley was saying yesterday from F3 was this is the kind of rocks that they were looking at on their project. They started looking at that JR zone back, I think it was around 2014. And they went back in 2019. They got a little sniff. They were seeing the alteration. They were seeing the graphitic stuff like this. And they just wanted to go back and go back. So they went back in 2019, went back in 2022. Finally, I think it was their 35th hole in 2023 when they made their discovery. And their share price took off from there. So that's exactly what we're trying to do, trying to duplicate that, trying to duplicate NextGen's Arrow deposit just down the road. So on this map, you can see how we have divided up Davidson River East and Davidson River West. Both of them have got very exciting corridors going through them. We're in discussions right now with one group under a CA to talk about the JV on half of this project. We've got drill targets, over 100 drill targets lined up. To do a drill program on one of these, it's probably going to be starting about 2.5 to 3 million. That'll get you 10 to 15 holes. We would like to see potentially 2 drill programs, one on each side of this summer. So stay tuned for news going forward on that. The Sundog project I mentioned to you briefly, we did a JV deal just announced a little while ago with a partner. They're coming up this region. They're going to get drilling into it as well. The deal is for 3 years, so the Sundog project will have drill programs for the next 3 years, which is fantastic news. It's a great area to operate. Locals are there that love to get to work. They want this region to be revitalized and brought back to the mining district it once was, and watch for many more companies showing up in this region and trying to get projects going. Ether and Athabasca. So on this map, you can see the other projects we have on the eastern side, Atlantic, Canary, and Ascent. Each of those, all of these projects we've staked ourselves and own 100%. We have got a letter of intent signed on the Canary project already, and we've got an option on the Ascent one as well. So we would like to see all 3 of the northern projects JV deals done this year and move those forward. They are all very exciting on their own, and I won't get into the geology too much on them, just to let you know that, look, the Atlantic project, you can see that that conductor running east-west along there. All those drill holes all have had a small amounts of uranium identified, but on the far right side, that's where ISO and now Consolidated, they have their hurricane deposit. So that's what we're looking for, the type of hurricane deposit on this side of the basin at the unconformity. The Canary project, as I mentioned, this one hasn't been drilled at all by us. It's got a great target as well. This is the one that our next partner is probably going to be announcing the JV deal on. This one we're aiming to drill in probably around May to June. And of course our Ascent, which is probably the third one we'd like to get a deal done on. It's got a lot of great conductors, great geology, hasn't been drilled yet, so another great target. These ones are also very close to surface. So when you're looking at making discoveries in this region, you want to be able to explore them cheaply, or at least not too expensively. So these ones are all between 50 meters to 400 meters at the deepest point. So great to get into this at a reasonable drilling expense. Now, Arocas, once again, this one we've just staked in the last year. We haven't done any drilling on it. It's not permitted for that yet. So our goal with this one is to do some geophysics this year, a bit of sampling on it, some boots on the ground, and get this one lined up for 2025 to have a drill program lined up, permits in place, First Nations agreements in place as well. Another great target for a JV. And Corvo was in the same boat. Same idea. We want to do the same thing with Corvo this summer. So it takes us to our corporate information. You can see our symbol there, our share price. And the one thing I want to draw to your attention, which is our working capital. Look, we've got about 100 grand in the bank right now, so there's going to be a small capital raise coming in the near future, led by our friends here at Red Cloud. We're not going to raise a lot of money right now because we're going to be having capital brought into this company through our JV partners for 2024. So for 2024, I want to highlight once again, look, we're going to be funded through our JV partners with a small capital raise as well, and we're going to be executing on drill programs across multiple projects. So look, if things go well, we're identifying the opportunity for $40 million in deals in 2024 and $10 million in exploration work, which is a remarkable accomplishment for our team to pull off this year. So thank you. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them.